Hello everyone, it's Dr. Abby Cassing here. I am a physical therapist here at Legacy. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about postpartum pelvic organ prolapse. What is it? So I've had a big influx of women coming to me who are newly postpartum, 6 weeks, 3 months, etc. And they're noticing this kind of bulging sensation or even just a visible bulge there in the vaginal canal that wasn't there before delivery, wasn't there during pregnancy, and they're just like, what the heck? What is going on with my body? Something feels abnormal, something doesn't feel right. So big thing that we want to discuss today kind of is, first of all, what is that? So pelvic organ prolapse is when we have a kind of bulging or pressing of the pelvic organs onto the vaginal canal. So to give us a better idea of what that is, I'm going to whip out my favorite thing ever, our pelvic model. So here's our pelvic model here. We know to orient us, this would be our belly, this would be our back and our spine. Our hip bones are right here, our pubic bones here, butt bones, sit bones right here, tailbone, coccyx here. And this would be all of our pelvic floor muscles, right? We have our urethral opening, vaginal opening, and anal opening. We also know that the muscles kind of sit like that bowl or that hammock, and they support all of those pelvic organs that sit on top. And by pelvic organs, I mean the bladder, the uterus and the ovaries, as well as the rectum. So when we have what's called a pelvic organ prolapse occur, means that if we look at kind of how these are all lined up, so we have our bladder sitting right next to our vaginal canal, as well as our rectum is nice and aligned here. It just means that this bladder might be pushing onto that vaginal wall, or that rectum might be pushing onto that vaginal wall to create almost this bulge that we see. So this would be our vagina, and that bulge would be pressing there onto either one of those walls, creating kind of that look of, oh my goodness, something's there, it looks like a ball. So the first myth that I want to debunk is, no, your bladder is not falling out. So that's a big thing that we see a lot of concern is, we're not really sure what it is, and we've heard, oh my gosh, my bladder is falling out. So really what you're seeing, if you can visibly see a prolapse occur, is just that bladder wall, or that vaginal wall, that bladder pressing on that vaginal wall, giving you that visual of that as well. So so now we kind of have a better understanding of what that is. Now let's talk a little bit about what some of the symptoms are. So again, that visible bulge pressing right there into that vaginal canal. You might experience some low back pain, some aches as well. You might notice some pain with intercourse, or just some sensitivity, right? That pressing feeling, or there might be a little bit more of that pressure there with intercourse as well. A general feeling like something's there, something's falling out. I've had many people say they feel like there's, a golf ball there, or they feel like they have a tampon in and it's falling out. We might notice an increase of some urinary leakage and urinary incontinence, as well as some bowel issues. So there could be, you might be having a struggle with constipation. You might be noticing it's a lot harder to evacuate your bowels as well as some spotting or bleeding from that vaginal wall. So with that vaginal wall coming down just a little bit, if it's rubbing kind of right at the opening, it could be even rubbing on your underwear or clothing, could be irritating, creating some spotting and whatnot. So the big question is, what caused this? What did I do? What happened? Why is this happening? What kind of caused this? So big thing, and especially with postpartum, seeing it immediately postpartum, is that we know that pregnancy and childbirth put a huge strain on that pelvic floor muscle. So regardless if you've had a vaginal delivery as well as a C-section, you're at risk for this too, just because of how our pelvic floor throughout our entire pregnancy just sits right here and puts all that pressure there. And so big thing is, we can't necessarily go back and say, yep, this is what happened. We know that, weight, smoking, as well as chronic constipation, chronic colds, pregnancy, childbirth, all play a factor into this as well. But really we can't reverse hindsight give us a true spot on reason of what happened, what caused this. You know, some women are kind of really beat themselves up and are frustrated, like, was it my labor? Was it how long I'm pushing? And I'm here to tell you that all of these things, you know, we don't fully know. So I don't want that to be the biggest stressor for them. So now the fun part is, what can we do to help this? What can we do to fix this? And you know, our favorite answer is always pelvic floor physical therapy. So a huge thing that we can do is we can work on strengthening those pelvic floor muscles. So back with here, again, we're just utilizing these muscles to create some of that support and that lift, helping with that vaginal canal and assist with it. We know that modifying your physical activity during early motherhood, it can be really important, right? It comes with a lot of challenges. We're picking up the car seat, carrying the diaper bag, picking up little one. If we have toddlers at home, we're lifting them. I even hear if you have, you know, your big fur babies too that you're moving around. Lots of lifting can occur, and again, we're just adding that pressure to that pelvic floor. So we want to talk a lot about how we can safely modify our lifting and utilizing our pelvic floor and that pressure to help create some support, rather than just not really focusing on what our pelvic floor is doing and continuing as we are. Other big things that we want to focus on is avoiding constipation. So we know that bowel movements put a lot of pressure on your pelvic floor muscles as well. So really hoping and getting those soft and formed stools rather than those hard pelvies. We're having to push, bear down, strain. You know, if you've ever listened to us talk about bowel movements, we love the squatty potty. So getting your knees above your hips, placing that stool underneath your feet can help avoid some of that pushing and straining, allowing your pelvic floor muscles to relax. As well as, again, like I said, first, making sure you just see a pelvic physical therapist. Even if you're just having discomfort there, you know, you're not having major symptoms, you're not noticing a significant bulge or anything visible there, just having someone check your pelvic floor and see, okay, what's going on? Is there one maybe starting? Is there a very minor one? How can we modify your movements, work on strengthening your muscles, and help you avoid any of this? So I want to reassure all of you that if you're dealing with postpartum pelvic organ prolapse, you are certainly not alone. So we see so much of this. However, you know, it's not talked about a lot. A lot of this stuff is not at the forefront, right? You don't read it in the baby books, and it's something you might experience going home, taking a mirror, looking in that area, or even kind of feeling it with your hands. So big thing is, a lot of women experience success with conservative treatment, and conservative treatment being pelvic floor therapy, strengthening that through rehab versus any other kind of measures. So if you're experiencing any of the stuff that we've talked about, if you have any other questions about it, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You know where to find us. And I'll wait here and let me know if anyone has any kind of questions that I can answer for them. And I'll be looking throughout the day if you have any other questions that you would like to answered about this. So I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. I hope you learned a little something. Me and my pelvic model will just be hanging out today, seeing some fun patients. But it was great hopping in here and the Moms Made Strong group. You guys all crack me up with some of your comments on Brooke and Jamie's posts. So I always enjoy seeing them. All right. Well, I don't think we have any questions popping up. So I'm going to head out, and I hope you all enjoy your fantastic weekend. See you guys again soon.